Generally speaking, when we're attacking blocks, we use this term right here. We call it hat and hands. All right, and this is really how we get off the ball, how we're going to strike these guys. We'll talk about this, and then we'll get into some drills that we use to really apply it to the field. All right, when we're talking about hat and hands, it means everything. It means your attack, it means your feet, and that's how we talk about it. Okay, the hat, we're really working to get to that clavicle of the offensive lineman. We want our eyes to be up, all right? And the hat and hands come together because I don't want a guy to strike the offensive lineman with his hands first and keep his hat out. Okay, out here, you don't have any power doing that. Okay, we don't want guys turkey necking. The biggest thing in our program is we want them to be completely clued into the key that they're lined up on. All right, he will take you to the ball 99% of the time. All right, and that's how you're going to make plays. All right, with the hands, we want to strike through the clavicle, and we're really aiming through, kind of coach talk, but you want to attack half a man when it comes down to it. But really that shoulder, all right, and then the breastplate. Okay, we talked about sternum bicep. We kind of call it this shoulder, and then breastplate. Okay, with the feet, we're just stepping for the D end. It's real easy. I'm stepping through that heel. All right, for the D tackle, that first step is going to the, really reacting to which way he's going. If I'm getting a scoop, I'm stepping, and it's all about that second step that's going to really set you up to be able to destroy that block. Okay, you have to be able to stay square inside, and we're going to really hammer that. What we really talk about with our guys with the finish is we want to play all the way through the offensive lineman's heels. Okay, so something that we do with our drills, we try not to use a bunch of whistles. All right, we want it to be more of a field. Okay, I can't explode with my hips until I get that offensive lineman onto his heels. Right, so there's no timer that goes off in your head to tell you that that's okay. You can't do it until you get him on his heels. So we'll do a lot of that. We'll do some whistles to start to kind of get him into it, but then the rest of the time it's just, I got to feel him on his heels, and I'm going to explode with the hips. But really that good position, once I'm into my guy, I have a good, Z in the knees, good arch in the back, my eyes are up so that I can get that good finish. All right, which brings us to the finish. Okay, we want to explode with the hips once I get through the heels. The big thing is if your eyes are down, you're not going to be able to do this. Okay, so we really want those eyes to be up through your keys via the neck. And the hips roll forward, and then once he gets out of position, that's when we're able to really disengage, throw rips, and get him on the face. Okay, here's some drills that we do with our guys. This is actually this Thursday morning. We'll do these on the field too when we're in full pads. Once we really break into this thing. What we call this 1,000 steps. There's no key in front of them. It feels really, really awkward at first. But the most important thing that we're working on here is just the footwork. Okay, we want to work 1,000 steps. When we're teaching this stuff, we're just going really 5 yards here. But you can see they're shooting the hands. Okay, this is Joe Horvath from Stevens Point. He's playing too high right there, right off the bat. But it's going to feel weird. We tell them that you almost want to fall on your face. Okay, I want to stay low. All right, I want my chest over my toes. And when we shoot our hands, what we talk about is snapping our wrists together. Okay, that's the term that I really came to like because we want their elbows to stay in tight. All right, we don't want to attack blocks with our palms facing like this or our elbows way out here. You don't have power right there. So we really work on snapping our wrists together and keeping our thumbs up. Feet stay shoulder width apart, another big emphasis in this drill. And it's really just get that feel of the feet. So that it feels easy once we start applying pressure and you put that bag in front of them. Shooting the hands, quick feet, elbows got to be in tight. He does a good job right here keeping his chest over his toes. All right, and then we'll also do this, okay? So if I get like a reach block or a scoop block, we have to end up working at an angle when it all comes down to it, right? So we're not going to just run up the field. If I get a scoop block, I have to stay square and I have to gain ground with that front foot. But at the same time, I don't want to turn my hips when I'm attacking the guy that I'm on. So we'll create 45-degree angles here. And again, just real simple stuff. We'll do the same stuff on the grass when we have our cleats on. but we're working at a 45-degree angle. Okay, and I'll stand right back here, and all we want to see in this is that their hips are facing completely straight. All right, when we go to that next cone, my hips don't open to that cone. My hips are always square. So we're just gaining ground. It's just, we call this step and recovery. Got a great afro right here, you know? He's 5'9" to begin with, so makes him feel like he's 5'11". Okay, so this one right here, you can see he's kind of turning those hips, and that's what we don't want, because if I get a scoop block and I start turning my hips, that's when he's going to win, right? That's what the offensive lineman wants. So we got to kind of fix that. Stay square with it. Kind of get the gist of that. It's really good when you go fast forward. Okay, which really brings us into, now we're going to work on throwing the hands. We're going to work on the hips. This one never plays. Here we go. Okay, we call this med ball hip explode. And we'll do this, you know, you guys seen on the field where you go 6 points. All right, you can do the agile when we're really working our hips and our strike and get off. In the gym, we'll do it different ways, just to kind of keep it fresh. We'll go with a med ball. And what's most important with this thing, and if you're doing a 6 point, you can do this with an agile in front of them, but you want to make sure that they're really coiled up, okay? If you're in an elongated stance in a 6 point and you go to explode with your hips, you're just going to come out and fall on your face, okay? So they want to be coiled up. You want to be tucked, have these toes tucked in. I really want to see these guys almost leap like a frog. We talk about taking off like an airplane. Okay, your back needs to be arched. I don't want to come out with my back, you know, pumped like that. Joe does a good job of coming off his feet, really exploding out. Still teaches, hey, my elbows got to be in, my thumbs got to be up for the strike. Well, that's really what we're looking for. And I mean, this is the best. I think we could do this drill all day. Just coming out of your stance, throwing the hands, keeping my back arched. I got my eyes up for the finish. Yeah, this is what it's all about. You can see that the other emphasis too is some of these guys, when we first did it, they wanted to pick the ball up first, like an offensive lineman. They got to strike that thing. Okay, we want to shoot those hands. So it's a little unrealistic with having the ball low, but still mostly for the hips with this one. That one was a little flat. He didn't do a good job exploding off his toes as much.
What weight are you guys doing for that, coach?
You can use whatever. We had 10 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we'll use anywhere from like 8 to 14 pounds.
I just want to make sure the hips are engaged, but not make it too heavy that it's dragging.
Exactly. I mean, basically use whatever weight allows them to do it perfect with the technique.
Gotcha.
Yep. The idea of that one. You know, we got to get creative in the gym. We've done some of these just for hat and hands. Now we're not, you know, on a 6 point. We're just coming out of a 2 point here. And I'll just say set go. Okay, we're just working on the first 2 steps. Pop, pop. All right, working the hands. Thumbs are up. Want to, you know, it's tough to engage. I don't want to hit the head on the concrete here, but just again that following with the hat and the hands, and your feet are going to follow from that. It's all about the strike. Just a quick one too. You can do it with running the feet right after it. Obviously, we don't have sleds inside, but we'll do the same thing with the sleds. When we go through our sled progression, we work the hat and hands without doing the total hips. All right, we just get out of our stance, hat and hands, and they'll just run their feet, and they just want to compress that thing. I just tell them I want to hear the metal just ache. All right, you just want to strike that thing, get all the way through the heels, and then the next one, like I said, we don't really use a whistle to get in and then pop up through the hips. We just say, hey, this time we're finishing with the hips. Once you feel it compress, then we can explode with the hips. So same idea, we just aren't able to get the sleds. Get the idea of that one there.